Right, guys. So for our last grammar lesson of this week, the lesson is about commas. Okay. So if you think about comma, you know that it's a symbol that we make. We use it in several things, and we took them before. So today's lesson is like a revision. Okay. So these are the things that we use a comma in. Okay. One of the things that we use a comma in is when we write the date. When we write the date, we usually write the day, the month, and the day and the year. So, like for example, my sister was born on May 8th, 1995. Okay, so May is the month, no, 8 is the day, and the year is 1995. Okay, so where do we usually put the date? We usually put the date, the comma after the day, and between the day and the year. So this is the comma. Okay, so one of the first things we use a comma in is the date. Also, when we write a letter, we must begin the letter with a greeting, right? How do we start a letter? With the word dear, and then we write the person's name that we're sending it to. Dear Jane, dear mom. And after we write mom or dear and the person's name, we must add a comma after it. So in a letter, when we begin a letter, we start with a greeting with the word dear and then the person you're sending it to. After we finish writing the person's name, we add a comma. Okay. And the third thing is we also add a comma at the end. Before we end the letter, we usually close the letter. Okay, we finish it not by saying goodbye, but instead we say yours truly, love, your friend. Okay, here is an example. Here the person is ending or closing the letter with the word love, and then he or she will sign his or her name. So after the closing, you add a comma. So here this letter is from Pat. So Pat will write at the end love and then comma and then Pat. So these are the three things, and we've taken it all before. So this is kind of a revision. Okay, so we use a comma in three things. We use a comma when we write the date between the day and the year. We write a comma after we start the letter, dear, and then we write person's name and then a comma. And then we use a comma at the end of a letter. After you close the letter using a nice word such as yours truly, love, your student, your son, any word, okay? Sincerely, you add a comma and then you sign your name after. So when you close it, you put the comma before your name, okay? But when you start a letter, you write the person's name and then you put the comma, all right? So let's see some examples on page 269, and we will choose the one that is correct. Okay. Number 1, dear Pat. Which one is the correct one? The one with a comma or the one without? Of course, the one with a comma is the correct one. Okay. So number 1, dear Pat, and then we put a comma. Number 2, your friend, comma. Of course, after you close the letter with a nice word such as your friend, you put a comma and then you sign your name. Okay. Number 3, June 4th, 2001. Which one is the correct? The first or the second? Of course, the second, because it has a comma. Okay. Number 4, dear Miss Field. Dear Miss Field. Which one is the correct one? The first one, because it has a comma after the person's name. Okay. Number 5, with love. Which one is the correct one? With love or with love with a comma? Of course, the one with comma. This is a closing. When you finish the letter, you write with love, comma, and then you sign your name. Okay. On here, on page 270, is a quick review of what we've taken. Okay, we will read the sentence first with the choices, and then we will choose and then read the sentence again to make sure if our sentence is correct. Okay, who, number one, who had the longest wait of all? Okay, who had the longer or longest wait of all? Here, the word all, am I comparing two or more? The word all shows you that I'm comparing more than one. And of course, here we see the. So who had the longest wait of all? And there's no word, there's no than here. So who had the longest wait of all? Okay, because we are comparing more than two. Okay, number two. We saw 6 or sad planes come in. Which one would be the correct adjective? We saw 6 planes come in, or we saw sad planes come in? No, we saw 6. Put your 2 bags in the box, or put your 2 high bags in the box. We will, of course, 2, because here the adjective is used to tell how many. So we will put the 2 bags in the box. Okay, number 4. It's much hotter or hottest here than in Maine. Here we have the word than. So that means we're comparing 2 places, here and Maine. So it's much hotter here than Maine. Our hope or happy friends waved to us. Of course, here happy is the adjective that we will use. Okay, hope is a verb if you don't know. Okay? And that was all we have for today. Okay? So, a comma is a quick review or a quick revision of where to use the comma in the dates, and when we start a letter and when we end it. And the last page here was a quick revision of what we took in our unit of adjectives. Okay? Bye, guys.